Is it fact? Is anything in there historical fact?
Very little, probably. I think one important thing to bear in mind is that ancient writers had a very different understanding of what fact or fiction was from us today. It wasn't written to be a factual account of the past. I don't think that's the way in which these biblical writers understood the past. But as a historian of the Bible, I think there's very little that's factual.
King David?
No.
Moses?
No.
Somebody said Jesus behind me. I don't think they were taking the Lord's name in vain.
No, Jesus, most scholars would agree that he existed, yeah.
So a hodgepodge of writings by different writers, scribes at different times with different agendas.
Absolutely, and a hodgepodge is like not doing it a great service. I mean, it's a very sophisticated collection of ancient literature. I mean, it's fantastic stuff. It really is. Lots of different genres, lots of different sorts of traditions that are being adopted and adapted and then readapted by successive writers. These were very creative people that were producing these texts. It's brilliant stuff.
But the sum of it, was it put together somewhat arbitrarily? That's the point I mean by hodgepodge over the years, for a purpose. I mean, the books that are there, why those books? Why not other books? Very
few of the biblical books were written to be included in a Bible. Yeah. That's quite a late idea, late from my perspective as a historian. Yeah, so they weren't necessarily written to be included in a Bible. These are religious writings. Some of them got into the Bible, some of them didn't, as we know. The choices that were made as to what should be contained in this collection, I mean, it's very hard to say. Some things are obviously more appropriate, the collectors felt, than others.
Bishop Michael.
Number 3, King David. This inscribed stone contains an ancient reference to the biblical King David. Being roughly a foot tall, it was written in Aramaic in the mid-19th century BC and is known as the Tel Dan Stela. The text actually refers to the house of David, meaning his royal family, found during excavations in the ancient city of Dan in 1993. It is now located in the Israel Museum. Number 4, King Solomon. In the biblical passages found in 1 Kings 9 verse 15, it notes that King Solomon constructed the city wall for the town of Giza. Archaeologists working on the site have now identified Solomon's wall, and the photo displayed here shows the remains of the gated portion.
In the pretext of delivering justice, Hatshepsut's co-regent, Thutmose III, who was already jealous of Moses, wanted to kill him. As mentioned in the Bible, Moses escaped and fled into the desert of Midian, relinquishing all his important responsibilities. Hatshepsut was let down by this incident. When someone does such a thing, what the royal family normally does is to erase the person's memory from the history itself by demolishing all their statues and removing their names from all the official records. But Moses was too dear to Hatshepsut. She simply changed all the mention of Moses' name to his nickname, Senenmut, in his ceremonial burial chamber and sealed it off. See all these blocks? How long would it take to change some hieroglyphics on its surface? The pharaohs were famous for that. I don't think for a moment that some guy who held such influential positions in Egypt walked around saying, "I am mother's brother." Senenmut is Moses. Before I finish, I want you to take a quick look at baby Moses at Hatshepsut's lap. Egyptologists will tell you this is Senenmut holding a measuring rope in his hand. But somehow the anatomy of the sculpture tells me that it is not of a man, but of a woman. A lady with a beard? Yes, Hatshepsut sported a beard when she ruled as a pharaoh. It is a known fact. Here she is holding the basket in her hand, which she took out of River Nile. The baby on top is none other than our Moses.